Welcome back to the ForgeCraft One Jungle Base. It's a fine Thursday. It is raining, and I've been generally making progress on things. I have progressed farther in Psi. Let's see if I can remember. I did tool casting, negative effects. Okay, block conjuration is new. Low control, which is basically just putting pauses and sleep timers and things like that, automatically ending a process. Interesting things like that. Smelting, this has actually turned out to be very, very cool. I have a spell where I can drop an item on the floor, shoot it, basically, and smelt it, and then pick it back up. It's nice. All the way up here at the top, there is exosuit casting. That's what I just did. I want to make an exosuit, but I still don't have all the materials to put it together because it's going to require a lot of gold and a fair number of diamonds. I'm still mining on that. So I'm going to put that off. I also still do not have a design that I want to go for yet on the actual villager mob trap. I think I want to put it, I don't know if I want to put it here or if I want to put it out over here. I think I don't want to put it there because I've got my other platforms and trees for that. So what I think I'm going to do is bust out my explode spell at some point here in the future and basically just excavate out a kind of a hole. Actually, you know what might be good? I could put it right down there at the bottom of the ramp. Yeah, that'll be good. It's also pretty flat already. I'll take some trees out. I'm going to make a floating box that's going to have villagers in it. The villagers are going to have doors. It's going to have a glass roof. And the villagers will be acting as a lure. Basically, what I want is a gap right at the outside edge of the building, and it's got to drop off a couple of blocks down. Then I want to basically make it to where the zombies will funnel into the center. Did I hear something? Okay. That the zombies will funnel into the center of the actual area underneath at the pit underneath this floating building. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, though. Now, I've considered putting a fine layer of lava suspended over half slabs that are in the lower position. What that does is it makes an air gap. So the mobs actually have the lava at basically about their torso level. If they die, their stuff drops and hits the air gap below the lava, and then we could put hoppers underneath that. The trouble is, hoppers are going to cost a lot of iron. Now, I do have a lot of iron right now. I don't know if I have that much iron. So, anyway, I have made a thing. I would like to progress some in Intangible because I've made some progress. Let's go downstairs real quick. The crystal cave's coming along very, very nicely. We step in here. I've got various parts and things, right? Well, I've got two control circuits. One thing that we made was a soul infuser. I did this off camera specifically because it had some tedious crafting in it. Well, not tedious. Actually, it's one thing I have to say that I really, really like about Intangible so far, and I really think MNF hit a sweet spot, is that right now the mod doesn't feel grindy to me. It doesn't feel like there's any recipes that are like, oh God, you know, it's got some clicking and stuff, and a fair amount of it could be automated if I wanted to devote more space to it. I just haven't done that yet. That's my choosing. That is not something that is being inflicted upon me by the mod. So I really do like that. So far, the recipes haven't been too bad. Anyway, let's see. We have soul bones, right? If you put soul bones in the actual circuit stamper, just like that, a soul bone, you get soul splinters. Soul splinters get a rod. Ooh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. 3 soul splinters and a redstone gives you a soul bone conduit. This is where things start to get complicated. If you look at the control circuit, it's 3 conduits plus a blue gem. So it's some restamping, but it's only like a small handful of parts, and you can put those in your inventory. It's not that big a deal, which is what I like about it. It's very simple. I can get 4 or 5 ingredients and hammer out a whole bunch of circuits real quick. So I have 2 control circuits. One thing that I actually want to make is a foci. That is 1 soul bone conduit. Whoops, wrong thing. Let's get 1 of those. And a yellow crystal, straight up, not a yellow gem, but a raw yellow crystal. And we just get this stuff. Put that their positioning is important. And we have ourselves a foci. Why do I want a foci? I think there's a button that I need to look at. Mapping, controls, inventory. I don't know if Intangible has its own thing or what. I go back up here to gameplay and see. Oh, okay, it's just right click. So there are various spells. Casting cost 1 benign, but I actually don't have a benign spell. I mean, a benign soul on me right now. Well, that's what the soul infuser is for. The soul infuser, this uses a soul relay, which is pretty simple. 2 of the circuits we made, plus some stone rings, which are basically just smooth stone in the stamper. That's it. And you get 4 of them to go, so you can actually make a lot of those very quickly. Let's see. Yeah, and then a blue gem. That is liquid or a molten blue crystal poured in with the gem mold into the actual blow mold thing. Very cool. I actually like that system. It's very neat. But it's a preponderance lattice. You get a soul relay, then a preponderance lattice, which is a couple of control circuits, a couple of gems, right? And a quantifier. This is where things get confusing. This is a raw yellow crystal, a control circuit, and then 2 things called emitters. The emitter is 2 control circuits, a blue crystal, and you see, so it's a lot of recursive crafting, but the steps are not that hard. The materials are not that expensive. Once you get a source for bones, once you get your own personal ghost chicken like this, it becomes real easy to make soul bones. The crystals grow. I can grow and harvest these as quick as I want to. I get the yellow crystals at a pretty good rate, so that's pretty good. It's really nice. I like it. It's actually a very good system that I'm very impressed with. Now, I've got a lever right here. That lever is turned on currently for this, and this is the soul infuser. It's set to nothing right now because, well, I don't want to infuse myself with anything. So if I remember right, if I remember my Direwolf 20 tutorials, I did watch all parts of those the Direwolf 20 tutorials on Intangible. Parts of it I don't remember, and I need to go rewatch it, but whatever. If I remember what Direwolf said in the tutorials, it is your maximum number of souls is twice the number that you know. I know 4 soul types, so I could put 8 souls in me, or 2 of each. And I think that's what I want to do. I have benign, predatory, unhinged, and wise. So if I do, this is benign, 1, 2, right click. That is, I think that's predatory. 2. I don't know which one that one is. That's you, that's unhinged. And then this one's going to be a little harder. That is malleable. That's wise. That's 2. So in theory, if I step on here real quick. There we go. Ooh. Ah, what are they talking about? They're talking about updating the server. Okay, so I now have, if you look in the top left corner, I'm going to, let's mash myself. Where's a nice surface that this is going to stand off against? I don't know. I think you can kind of see it there against the ladder. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, there's different letters. Like there's U, and it's got 2 dots next to it. That is unhinged. There's a W with 2 dots next to it. That is wise. P with 2 dots next to it. Predatory. There's a B with 2 dots next to it. That is benign. We now have various numbers of souls at our disposal. If we hold right click on this, we can now see there's some spells that we can do. Like, it costs 1 predatory to animate spider block. I'm going to select that, and you'll see in the upper left-hand corner, that is the actual spell that I have selected right now. So if let's right click this and close it. I'm going to go over here and let's just That is now a spider grass block. It will, I think, protect me. It only lasts a couple of seconds. One of my souls is grayed out, and it just came back. It won't last forever. I don't know what use this thing is. It's neat though. So I hold down right click again. I've got claws. This needs chest. This needs the armor. I don't have the armor yet. Repair, I think, needs the armor as well. Soul leash, projectile that attaches a leash to a soul. Second use detaches it. So I can lead souls around with this, which is very, very nice. Slingshot, cast to place a connected soul that will pull harder the further away the caster moves. I think. Let's do Slingshot again. I think this takes some getting used to. Whoa. Why can I not? Okay, let me look down here and do it that way. There we go. Whoopsie. So just a quick right click. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna think that one's gonna have to take some getting used to. Interesting. So there's lots of little spells that we now actually have the capability of doing. Tendrils, pick up nearby items and deflect some projectiles. Needs a chest armor. There is strength, do more damage with each hit. That's one predatory, so I could buff myself. That's nice. Push, shift swing to push away nearby creatures. Then it must recharge. It costs 2 benign, so we're not going to be able to do that very much. Unexpected, I don't know what that is. 3 unhinged, but we don't have 3 unhinged yet. Vision, see-through blocks. Can I not? So some of this I'm still figuring out, and I don't know what you can do with it. Swarm. Yeah, 2 predatory, low damage projectiles that automatically seek out prey. Lots of interesting things you can actually do with this. So the trick now is going to be getting more souls at our disposal. Once we actually get more souls, then we'll be able to infuse more in us. The other part of the other half of things is also the armor, which I'd really love to start working on. Let's see, Sylvan chestplate is going to require the infusion process. Good grief. Yeah, you have to infuse souls in it, and I'm going to have to come up with another space to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it over here, and I'm going to hollow out some walkways, some connections between the soul well and here. I'm going to fill this in and plank it off, and I'll put it here. It's going to be the infusion table area, but yeah, I think that's going to be cool and interesting. Spell requires more knowledge. Slowly repair your armor. I think this requires the armor, but I'm not sure. I do have 1 wise. I do meet that cost. Yep. I am very intrigued by that. I think shift recenters the menu. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm going to equip this. Ooh, there we go. That's interesting. But it doesn't stay on. Ah. Whee! And I think I'm still attached to that one point. I'm not sure. I think when I shifted, I got rid of it. Huh. Whoa. Yep, shift breaks it. So what I can actually do, this is fun, I gotta say. We do Slingshot. Let's see if we can... Oh my gosh. Whoa. Woohoo. Boing. Yeah. That's all kinds of fun. Oh my gosh. I might have just found my new method of travel. Now I wonder if there's a way that I can... Yes, I can. So I can press... let me think. If I have one hotkeyed now, which means whoa. Let's break that real quick. So if I there we go. If I hold down and then just press 1, I will automatically select the spell. So the key is to... Well, it just kind of pulled me there. There we go. And then you have to right click again to cancel the tendril, basically, to cancel the slingshot. There we go. Yes, I see a lot of potential in this. This is very cool. Hi. No. Ooh, that killed that spider. I'm going to gather up all the free stuff. And let's see. We can actually... Well, we did get up out of the hole. Not very far, though. There we go. Get a little bit of altitude on things. This is basically... works the exact same, a similar, way as the slime sling. I'm not sure what that's all about. I think that just... I'm still figuring this thing out. This spell seems to have a bit of a mind of its own. Like that. Fire that off. And see, I don't know why. That pulled me forward. That did something. Confirmed. Let me get up on a higher ground here. Gonna arc it up real high. And that pulls me forward. It just... Apparently it's kind of picky about intervening objects. No, I want that as one. There we go. But see, now I right-clicked a couple of times, and I'm not sure I know how to break the spell. Really going to take some practice, but I do like it. I could see where once you mastered the slingshot spell and you have these slime boots on, you can get around a lot easier. Before I forget, let's see. Put that stuff up. Before I get too involved in bouncing myself around the forest and actually forget, I did make, well, episodes ago, well, about an episode ago, I made this coal generator from RF Tools. What I didn't realize is that it's got this second slot for a reason. I wasn't 100% sure what it was. Well, I can actually put a charged porter in that. What this means is that I put this in here to top it off, take it out, and this is shift right click linked to this receiver. Now, I don't have a teleporter or a dialer, so I can't go anywhere with this. But if I walk somewhere else and then right click, I use a little bit of energy, depending upon distance, I think, and I appear back here. So I now have a one-way return trip back home that I can use at all times. Actually, you know what? Just in case I have to go really far distance and it does use more power per distance, I'm going to charge it back up real quick. That barely used anything. I always keep torches on my hotbar. And I've gotten to where that's kind of a thing where I always keep torches in the very last spot on my hotbar where the potatoes are now. Now, the reason I put my torches up is because I recently actually made a size spell. If you look over here, you'll see there's one right there and there's one right there. I'm going to show you something. If I back up just a little bit, you see that top one fades out. I'm going to put my cursor right below where it should be. And it's going to pop in. The graphic does not render at a very far range, but I have made a spell that is a projectile. You see? I can light up some of the treetops. I'm going to see if I can hit that one way over there. There we go. Now, this isn't doing anything to the jungle floor. This is lighting way high up. But I definitely think it makes the jungle look nicer at night. You can see some of the detail on these amazing trees. The little particles don't light up the area. They light up the area around them, but they themselves don't render until you get within a certain distance. See, and that one shows up again. So I actually have light sources that I can make now instead of having to burn charcoal and sticks to make torches, which I'm very, very happy about. That's the smelt spell I was telling you about. This is regen 2. It actually just gives me regen 2. It's very, very nice for topping off your health real quick. Water breathing. I can do this and it gives me about 10 or 15 seconds of water breathing. So I have to hit it every once in a while, but that's fine. That's the bounce spell that I've used so much. I still love growth. That is a targeted small radius growth spell that I was using to grow trees. That's my fetch spell, kind of like an item magnet. That's my tree capitation spell. Basically, it breaks the block you aim at and 10 blocks straight up. So it's great for harvesting trees. Standard digger spell. And then the tough tunnel spell. I think I showed you guys this. I can't remember. So I'm going to just go show you now. I've been using this to mine. This spell is a creation of Kieran Dave, who's a friend of mine. Kieran Dave is the lead behind the Resonant Rise mod pack. And he has a penchant. I'm just going to show it up here. He has a talent for size spells, as I've discovered. So tough tunnel, I'm just going to aim right here. I'm going to stand right up against the block. You right click. It is a loop cast bullet, which means it keeps going until I switch off the gun. But the usage on the energy is so low that I can let it go until I run out of distance, because it only has a maximum distance of 32 blocks. And it just goes in a straight line. And you see, I can sustain this for as long as I want to. Ooh, some iron. Very nice. I'm actually going to do that and turn on the numbers overlay for lighting. And there's going to be a point here, soonish, where it's going to tell me exceeds maximum distance or something like that. You'll see it in the lower left-hand corner in the chat window. But basically, Sai has very, very quickly turned into a kind of a one-tool utility belt, which I think is really awesome. I have one thing that I can have multiple spells loaded into. And are we at a distance yet? No. There we go, maximum. So it exceeds maximum distance. Now what I do, fetch. And I can pull. Let's see if I can get. Ooh. There we go. So now what I can actually do is switch to light. Let's go down here. I'm gonna put one right there. Put one right there. And put one right there. Tunnel is lit up. It is dug. Now, if I wanted to, I could come in here. And just find all the stuff that I need that wasn't caught for whatever reason. Pop a light down in there. I am discovering that some of the ore from immersive engineering is kind of hard to see. Let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Oh, here we go. I think that's all of that. And of course, there is some good mining down there. And let's see if we can get over on this edge and get all of that. There we go. Very nice. And of course, toss a light down there. Toss a light down there. And I do see some iron there, but I'm going to let it go for now. It's very neat, very cool. I like it a lot, to be sure. So yeah, to harken back to, oh gosh, I don't know if it was 164. It might have been all the way back, and I think it was 164, Minecraft 164. It was Ars Magica. Ars Magica was a very cool kind of a advanced, very deep magical mod that lets you do spell creation. Wow, a lot of coal back here. Let's get some light on the subject. I think that's everything. Awesome. So yeah, Ars Magica was a very cool magic spell, kind of a creation system. It had very deep mechanics for creating your own custom spells, adding components together, and you kept all your spells in a spell book that you kept on your toolbar. You could rotate out what spell was active in your spell book at any given point in time. And that meant that you could very easily... Okay, that is working. You could very easily have one spell book that had like 10, 12, 16 different utility spells for creating an aura, a ball of light, for mining, for healing yourself, for jumping farther, all sorts of great stuff. And I really am getting kind of, I'm getting a new Ars Magica vibe off of parts of Psi. But it takes it so many steps further because you can get those spells and imbue them into tools, now into armor, all sorts of great stuff. So I really am excited for the future of Psi and for mods like Intangible, where we got these really weird spells that I need to figure out. See, there's a difference between the block ones. I think these require items. So I don't think this will work unless I have a helmet. But it should say requires helmet because, like, oh, burn. Can set a focused creature alight. No. See, this needs chest armor. I think this stuff needs equipment. I just don't have it. So, yeah, I think I'm sticking to these weird kind of, I don't know, octagon shapes? No. Yeah, octagon shapes. I kind of like octagons. Soul Leash, Slingshot, Animate. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I still have some more souls that I need to discover. I've witches and villagers have the same soul. I've done spiders. I've done creepers. Let's see. Predatory soul is wolves and probably ocelots and spiders. Creepers have unhinged souls. I think what I need to do now is the golem, the iron golem, but I have to make my own golem armor first before I can do that. And there is a spell that lets you leave your body. Basically, you become incorporeal. Your soul leaves your body, and your body stays behind, and it becomes indestructible. And it lets you inhabit the armor. The problem is, I can't remember what soul is required in order to make that spell happen. That's the part I'm fuzzy on. It's like up here in one of these areas somewhere. But yeah, so there's at least one soul type that I still need to research that I have not done yet, and I'll get around to that. In the meantime, I'm hoping you're enjoying things. I really am going to sit down and record an episode for Saturday. I would like to build out or start building out. Actually, not over there, down here. I like this down here better. I'm going to start building out the village breeding mob trap. I want to make it, village breeding center and lure in zombies, because zombies can actually drop some very cool stuff, much less the fact that maybe we'll get some experience, but I'm not sure how we're going to capture it. There's a lot of dynamics I still got to figure out, but we'll get there. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me. I will catch you folks later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.